In a typical middle-class neighborhood, just 4 miles from Lambeau Field, there lives a mad scientist.
I have no problem with all the people making drugs, so long as they make good drugs and they don't create a toxic waste dump.
He's author of The Secrets of Methamphetamine Manufacture, a how-to cookbook of clandestine chemistry.
Chemistry that your neighbors would be well advised not to know about, you know? It's stuff you don't want to advertise that the chemistry is actually occurring, so it's clandestine.
So generally that means
it's illegal, yeah.
Meth cooks know him only as Uncle Fester, an Adams family nickname he earned in college because he liked to blow things up.
Neighbor lives over there, he used to call me Boom Boom. Hey, Boom Boom!
But in many ways, Stephen Priestler of Green Bay is just a regular guy.
How was your day at school? You know, Casey went home sick today.
He raises 2 kids, cheers for the Packers, and works a full-time day job as an electroplating chemist.
All Daddy does is work. All Daddy does is work.
He graduated from Marquette in 1981 with degrees in biology and chemistry, a bright young scholar with a bright future, until he got caught making meth and spent 3.5 years in prison.
My thought at the time was, oh, you didn't like what I was doing, huh? Well, how would you like 30,000 more just like me?
Priestler pecked out the first edition of Secrets of Meth in 1985 on a prison typewriter. He was not the first to write a drug cookbook, but he boldly claims to be the best.
I know how to dig through the scientific literature, and I know how to tell a story. There's nothing's worse than a dull chemistry book. It'll make your teeth hurt.
The book describes how to make crystal meth out of simple household chemicals, but this is not for your average hillbilly knucklehead. It's no easy read.
Methylamine to produce a shift space in a molecule of water. This shift space then reacts with hydrogen and platinum catalyst and gets reduced to methamphetamine. Duh.
It assumes that you've taken like maybe a semester or so of college-level organic chem.
It's practical, too. Chapter 24 is all about how to avoid getting busted by what Fester calls the narco swine.
Giving the man a poke in the eye on a daily basis is just such a good feeling inside, you know?
He's been poking the man now for more than 20 years, gaining near legendary status among underground chemists. His basement is littered with books he's written that teach people how to break the law.
That's the explosives one.
From how to make bombs to armor-piercing bullets, even bloody Brazilian knife-fighting techniques, a title he admits was a flop.
If it's not science, I won't touch it. Never go out of your genre.
But Priestler's work is no joke. His book, Silent Death, contains recipes for making and using chemical weapons. And when a Japanese cult used sarin gas to kill 12 people on a subway in 1995, investigators found Silent Death among their research materials.
They weren't written with the intention that people actually use them, but they're entertaining, and they're accurate and informative.
Priestler admits the meth books are meant to be used as written. Have they ever? Secrets of Meth has turned up at drug busts from Sheboygan to New Zealand. 2 years ago, cops in Elkhart, Indiana busted a major meth ring, confiscating guns, ammunition, cash, and a holy Bible. The good book was gutted and filled with The Secrets of Meth, 4th edition.
The fact that those things exist is one thing. The really unfortunate part is that there are morons out there that take this information in and want to do something with it.
When police in Philadelphia seized $1.8 million worth of meth in 2005, it was Fester's book that angered prosecutors most.
Methamphetamine kills. Methamphetamine destroys communities. Methamphetamine destroys lives.
It's a private activity done by consenting adults, and it's peaceful.
Meth is probably the most addictive and destructive drug we've ever seen.
Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen would not answer questions about Uncle Fester, but he did warn that meth is moving our way.
We're seeing more of it in the inner cities. Meth is starting to pick up in Milwaukee even, part of the state where we never had a meth problem.
Mom-and-pop labs in rural counties used to be the primary source of meth as recently as the late 1990s.
The real heyday, the golden age of clandestine chemistry.
Now, most of it is handled by traditional drug cartels and brought here on the interstate.
It's a big change in the source of methamphetamine.
That's partly because of new laws that restrict the sale of cold pills, which contain pseudoephedrine, a critical ingredient in homemade meth.
It's the Mexican Mafia Meth Monopoly Act is what I call it. It just gives the Mexican Mafia a free and open field with no competition.
To stay ahead of changing laws, Priestler updates the meth book every few years, but he insists he no longer makes or uses the drugs he writes about.
I haven't cooked meth in ages. I'm just about 50. I'm 49 right now. That's reaching the age where you like to get a good night's sleep at night.
Even if he wanted to, Priestler says, he can't. He's worried the feds are watching.
They've been trying to dig up stuff on me for 20 years, you know. Why, they even crashed my brother's wedding, for Christ's sakes, you know.
And, of course, there's the kids.
They know I'm in the book biz. They know I write chemistry books. They know I'm fairly famous.
Just famous, or infamous enough, to keep the book business going, even if it's not going strong.
After this 9/11 stuff, people are afraid to buy books. My God, they're afraid they'll get on a watch list if they're caught buying a book.
But old Uncle Fester vows to keep writing them anyway.
They'll have to break my fingers or steal my typewriter.